Former Army Ranger medic James Wiley grabbed the knife that had been gifted to him from one of the defense contractors he worked for overseas. He thanked his friend on the phone for his support, hung up, took the knife, slit his wrists, watched himself bleed, and waited to die.
My wife and I wanted to do something for Christmas. We wanted to not do Christmas presents for each other. Why don't we send care packages to troops overseas? We started looking into what it would take to start a 501c3, and we submitted that. And in doing that, we had to form a board. So I contacted friends of mine, and that was actually the formal birth of HOOAH. Melissa came up with using the acronym as helping out our American heroes.
Doc Wiley's life unraveled after returning home as a contractor. He had served as a medic in 1st Ranger Battalion from 2003 through 2006, completing 3 deployments, 2 to Iraq and 1 to Afghanistan. Weeks before his attempted suicide by knife, Wiley had been in an inpatient program in Michigan for traumatic brain injury. He was feeling about as low as he could. He wasn't even 30 years old yet. His back hurt, and he was walking with a cane. While in that program, he started hoarding sleeping pills. He believed that if he took a large enough quantity, they would kill him. He was depressed, hopeless, and feeling like he had no answers to the problems in his life.
He took some sleeping pills one night, and when he woke up later, he was actually disappointed that he didn't succeed.
We talked about sending care packages, and I said I'd also like to do something about veteran suicide. It is a massive problem, 22 a day. It continued to come up in our meetings, and we weren't doing anything. We'd talk about it, like a lot of people do. And one night I get a call from a special operations soldier who I greatly respect, and he says, an Army Ranger medic just attempted suicide up in Michigan. What are you going to do about it?
Sebastian and HOOAH made arrangements for Doc Wiley to get to the airport in Detroit and get on a plane. HOOAH also provided Wiley with money for food and other travel expenses. He would be the first of dozens of veterans helped by HOOAH. Once in Tampa, Wiley began treatment with Dr. Hernandez. The treatment was intense. He'd go back to his hotel room, and he'd be so exhausted he'd fall right to sleep. Each morning, he'd wake up refreshed, and as the program continued, he felt better and better. Veterans are exposed to a variety of treatments, including accelerated resolution therapy, integrative restoration or IREST, yoga, music, art, and equine therapy. Accelerated resolution therapy uses eye movement. A trained therapist waves his or her hand in front of the veteran's face to get their eyes moving back and forth and mimics REM sleep. While the veteran does not speak much during this therapy, they can process their most difficult memories.
What accelerated resolution therapy does is help process that traumatic memory.
I went from suicidal to the best I've been in a really long time, Wiley said. I was in a really bad place. I felt there was no hope, nothing. I was able to go down and get therapy. I felt the best I felt in 8 years. Wiley also added that he appreciated HOOAH for covering all of his travel expenses and pushing him to go. HOOAH is an all-volunteer national veteran nonprofit with chapters in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Texas. It was founded by Army Ranger veterans Bob Sebastian and his wife Melissa, Rocky Yachty and his wife Diane, and Brett Bodette and his wife Kathy.
With the Victory for 22 campaign, that originally was started to help save the lives of 22 veterans, which 22 veterans a day is the statistic that are committing suicide. It's still called Victory for 22, but 22 was about 380 veterans ago, and we're not going to stop. Save a veteran's life by getting him to think twice. Reach out to a local nonprofit organization.